We're back in the CEC office in Warsaw with Michał Koczalski, CEC's managing partner.
Morning, Staszek.
Michał, the Ministry of Energy has published Poland's long-term energy policy.
Right.
We have been waiting for this moment nearly 3 years now. The policy has been delayed significantly many times. So my first question is for a bit of context. Why has it been delayed and why has it been published now?
Well, I think it's like a holy grail to answer this question. I mean, it was crucial to get the strategic document as, well, first, it was crucial for any policy work in terms of how to structure our energy market for the years to come. Secondly, there was a big expectations from the EU to Poland to actually see what is the strategy. I mean, the coal problem and how Poland wants to deal with that. With all the pressing policies coming from the EU, especially regarding lowering emissions and increasing the share of renewables, then there was no clear answer from Poland. And finally, we at least see the draft of the strategic document that outlines the directions of the policy for the next 3 decades or so.
And this is a draft, of course, so a final version will only be accepted in some time, but you're saying a clear answer. So is there a clear answer to lowering emissions and lowering coal dependence in Poland?
Well, I mean, if I were to say in one sentence, I would state that there is, like, all windows are open, always for managing the energy mix are now open. So I guess that, as we said, it's a draft. This will have to go under public consultation process. Then there will be different ministries sharing their voice in this respect. So it's really a big question mark whether what will be the final shape of the energy mix. I mean, if we see for the I know X times that nuclear energy is coming back and will be, well, quite an important share of the final basket, then you would need to question, I mean, yourself, how can we do this? I mean, how can we go with a 60 billion zlotys investment in the next 10 or 12 years? Is it feasible? I mean, there are no answers. And there are only ideas of, well, we want to have 12 gigawatts of photovoltaics, we want to have 9 gigawatts of nuclear power in 2040, but there is no how.
So, well, you're echoing perhaps what some commentators have said harsher, that this document is too little too late. Is it true? Will there be big problems for the Polish energy system because of this?
The last energy policy of Poland, which was drafted 10 or something years ago and was supposed to be implemented in 2030, was saying that in 2024 we're going to have 6 gigawatts of nuclear power. 2024 is in 6 years. So basically, we would need to be in the middle of construction process, and we're nowhere. I mean, apart from some, documentation, environmental work being done, still there's no final decision regarding the location of the nuclear power plant. So, how can we expect that in 2033, if I remember correctly, there will be 6 or so gigawatts of nuclear power?
And of course, this is only one example of the big investments that are planned by the government. So what are the next, maybe to wrap up, what are the next steps for this document procedurally? When will it actually get accepted and perhaps start being enacted?
I would be really surprised to see it going a fast track process. They put it in public, and there is no surprise in this. I mean, they needed to have something for the COP24 that is happening starting next week in Katowice. So they wanted, the whole world to see that, well, actually Poland is doing something in terms of decreasing coal dependence and making a more sustainable share of the energy basket. But the COP is over, and the public consultation process is set to be up till mid of January, if I remember correctly. But then, I mean, we're going to see hundreds or even thousands of comments coming from different stakeholders. I mean, NGOs or environmental groups, business operators, not to mention other ministries like Environment Ministry, or Ministry of Entrepreneurship, which, as we know, doesn't have the same point of view on many things as Ministry of Energy. So I wouldn't expect that it will go fast.
And of course, there will be comments from us.
Oh, a lot
from
of
this
them,
room.
A lot of them.
Thanks, Michał.
Appreciate it.
We'll come back to you with an update as Poland's energy policy is enacted in a couple of months.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks.